Welcome back to the Ubuntu Intelligent, the human premium, where we are building new solutions and the new standards. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I have another yet video that I need to evaluate. And then some. Please like, share, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. There's a difference between protecting your family and positioning your family inside a narrative. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to dive into why it is that the Anton Daniel family filed a lawsuit against the Cory Holcomb and show. Excuse me. I have so many questions, and one thing that I want to bring home is how do we protect ourselves from the internet? When we build the solution, we play around with the algorithm, get those like, clicks, views, and we're winning, right? We're winning, but at what measure are we winning? So we want to see a pattern where exposures to leads to get attention and leads to reaction, and reaction to something leads to legal actions. Now we're not just talking about an individual, we're talking about a system. And in the nows and inside of the nows, the NOW, legal action can be valid, but is it worth asking? When does legal, or should I say, when does accountability begin? And when does strategy takes over? Because remember I said there is difference between protecting your family and positioning them being your family, inside a narrative. And so the next question I thought of when thinking about the topic is is the legal system being used for protection, or is it an extension of the narrative? This is important, and I'll say it one more time. Is the legal system being used to protection or for protection, or is it a narrative, an extension of your narrative? Now recall, individuals has this algorithm that they like playing around with. And it's okay as long as it's a financial gain and you can control the narrative. And when the family members are involved, are they protected or are they positioned? Those are questions that I want everyone to think of unapologetically. because we're going to explore, and I won't be here too long, but we're going to explore what is the difference between narrative leverage, strategic victim positioning, action to legal patterns or pipelines, leverage, reputation monetization, because all this could say to me is that we need to look deeper into the process. So we are going to explore what happened here. What happened here when jokes become critiques and public disclosures, when audience reactions become amplified, or I should say amplification. What happened here? I really want us to focus in on thinking about one more time the difference between protecting your family and positioning them for inside narrative. We're going to get into it. And what is this about again? Anton Daniel's wife, her name, sues Cory Holcomb, and they have a child that was a part of this suit, lawsuit. I'm going to keep it very basic here. I am going to keep it very basic with the hopes of gaining more understanding on what it is that we're a part of today. Why do you say we're part of it today? Because every day with these folks is something different, something different, something different. Pay attention to my screen.
There's a difference between information and intelligence. We're born to intelligence. We don't just think alone. We build, aligned. We're born to intelligence. Building a new standard. Not just surviving. We move with advantage. We're born to intelligence. Code of the future. Truth over comfort. We operate new world.
They sold you a script, blue pill design, keep you distracted, chasing the lie while the real ones study the system inside. Now you see patterns they try to hide. This ain't luck, this calibration. Mindset forged through observation. Every move is calculated. We don't drift, we navigate it.
No more silence, no more waiting. Clear intention, strategic placement. We're born to intelligence. Building a new standard. Not just surviving. We move with advantage. We're born to intelligence. Code of the future. Truth over comfort. We operate new world.
Red pill clarity, sharpen the sight. Now you moving with purpose and light. No more noise, no wasted motion. Every step is controlled devotion. Discipline turned into elevation. Pressure built the foundation. No approval, no validation. Self-led transformation.
We don't react. We read the system. We don't chase. We position. We don't follow trends. You stand formation. You're born to intelligence. We define it. New standard living. We redesign it. You're born to intelligence. Rise together. Individual power. Aligned forever. I am because we are. And now we are the new standard.
There is a moment when a man stopped protecting his family and start protecting his image. Let's get into it. I am going to share this video out with the mic drop video that he made today. And this is going to explain what it is that we're seeing. We're just analyzing this. We're not taking a side. I might. I don't know. I might. We'll see. I don't want to be here too long because I know I'm not live. And one day I will go live as soon as I get some time. But for right now, I'm going to share out this video. Shout out to Mike Drop Barbecue. You will see his, let me just move this card out of the way so that you can see where his page is. I tend to follow him. We have some similarities, job type similarities, and I like the way he depicts each video, unbiased, but using his professional skill sets to help navigate through complex videos. And so I enjoy watching him. Okay, so here we are. He's on the screen, and I am going to move this banner. I hope. Perhaps I will. Maybe I won't. Yeah, let's go ahead and see if I can get this off of here. I haven't played around with this too much, but I'm sure I'll make it happen. Okay, but moving forward, just go over to the mic drop video. Is where this video has originated from. I'm only reacting to it And I haven't really seen it. I've seen a portion of it, but I haven't seen the entirety. So this is going to set the scene as to what's going on. And we're talking about the Cory and the Anton drama that happened sometime during January, I want to think. And there was some backlashes after the meetup on the Cory show. And there was a lot of drama that came out of here and a lot of back and forth, which I didn't get into, but it was very interesting to watch and navigate through talking points with other content creators as I didn't find it was necessary to do a video on, but today I do because I understand is that what I have understand every month or every other so often within a month or so, there's a new character coming out of this Anton Daniels um, a system. And while we're talking about systems, while we're speaking about systems, let me ask this question. I have a house, you have a house, or wherever you live. You put locks on your doors to protect what's on the inside. We call that in my field, set up firewalls to deter or to prevent or to detect anybody coming inside of our perimeters. That is your environment. That is your solution you build out, however that looks. And you know that if anyone bypass the system that you built, which is your firewall, that it will alarm you and that you take further actions, whatever that looks like, right? That's one. But when you build a system and you build it from the inside out and you play around with little tools and you expose yourself to different vulnerabilities out there. And the vulnerability follows you inside of the perimeters in which you're trying to protect. Whose fault is that? Is that the person's fault that was able to discover that you had a vulnerability because you exposed what your vulnerabilities are? I'm saying that to say that when a man is out here moving a certain kind of way and he has a family, there's a certain kind of way he has to carry himself to protect his family. What you can't do and what you must not do, and this is all allegedly, and but then there is some truth here. I don't know if he did this or not. When I painted this picture, I'm only saying allegedly. But then if this is so factual, why would you open yourself up to your own vulnerability? Why would you open those ports up and to your firewall knowing that once you open those ports up that you are going to be exposed? And then you all the treasures you have housing and protecting, you are the person who built the solution, who opened up all the ports. And now you have vulnerabilities coming from every source, and you can't put the fire out. I don't care how often you detect it, it's just no way. And my question is to you on a legal standpoint, is it, is it the legal system to help you navigate, to show you how to protect your vulnerability after you build it? It's yours, you own it. Corey says, own up to it and stand in it. But the one thing you're not going to do, allegedly, is to own up to it and be accountable for your own vulnerability. Your firewall is no longer working. And now you're grabbing entities, outside entities, to help you rebuild your solution. My question is, should the legal system at this point be a part of the narrative? Leave it in the comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And for all who don't understand, let me know. I'll break it down. But as a security analyst, I think this is as far as I can go with trying to be on a human level. You build this algorithm, mister, and different characters comes out of this algorithm that you build. And your solution to protect what was inside of your algorithm, whether it was a 356-bit encryption key or doesn't sound like you know how to encrypt your solution that you build because you exposed it. No one did this but you. Stand in it. Hold some accountability for your own action. That is the Republican conservative thing to do. And let's find out what Mr. Barbecue has to say.
Attorney, man, Anton Daniels is actually suing Cory Holcomb. Well, they say his wife Rita is suing.
Was what made with oppression and malice in an effort to disparage plaintiff and damage her personal reputation and to subject her to ridicule among her friends and classmates and the viewing audience. So they saying Cory Holcomb did this so her friends can see.
Now, truth be told, what are a bunch of minor children doing watching Cory Holcomb show? I mean, if they're minor children and the things that he says is too sensitive for minor ears, what are they doing on a channel that's designed for 18 plus?
So, my question regarding this piece is it the internet responsibility to secure your children if you're the father who built the solution to protect your family? Because Mr. Mike Barbecue only said it, but I was thinking, how did these children get on the Corey Holcomb show? Because at this point, it is not his responsibility. Parenting starts at home. A good father would know how to protect his children or his child and his wife and the dog and the frog and the birds and the, you know, just think about that. It is not no one here responsibility for me to protect the children in my family. My family would no way know a person like Corey Holcomb until they got enough age and they discovered him. So we're not responsible for protecting your family. That's what a man does. Men be about men business. Now, I'm looking at the title. It says his wife is suing Corey Holcomb. And that's another thing that I'm not sure if it's true. Allegedly that he is, and I'm gonna make commentary around that as well. Because my father, my mother would never drag their children in an environment where it could be so cruel. The world is very cruel. And they wasn't so hard up where they would want to expose their vulnerability to the outside world before preparing them to go out into the outside world. And so, again, whose responsibility is this? And your wife. Let's say this. They had this thing called on the internet, I just learned over the couple of weeks, manosphere type of thing, and where they don't really value women allegedly. And I just kind of wonder, let me put myself in the situation, the personality that I am. On the back end, I would hold my husband foot to the fire. I would not have came out here saying a damn thing, period, about nothing he had going on about Cory. I would make him handle that. And a lawsuit is not how a man handle man business. But that's just my thoughts. I can't imagine. I can't imagine a man dragging me, my husband, and my child through the mess that he made. That is diabolical to me. But let's finish here what Mr. Mike Drop has to say. What did you say, Mr. Mike Drop? I done messed up and okay, here it is.
Welcome to the barbecue.
Okay, we gotta go through
Wife
it again.
Rita is suing.
Okay, here we go.
That's what made with oppression and malice in an effort to disparage plaintiff and damage her personal reputation and to subject her to ridicule among her friends and classmates and the viewing audience. So they saying Cory Holcomb did this so her friends can see.
Now, truth be told, what are a bunch of minor children doing watching Cory Holcomb show? What are a bunch of minor children doing watching Cory Holcomb show?
Hmm.
I mean, if they're minor children and the things that he says is too sensitive for minor ears, what are they doing on a channel that's designed for 18 plus? See, that's the part that I don't buy. They must have either lied to get YouTube accounts because you have to be at least 18 to get on some of these channels. You can't view the videos. So if she's trying to say, hey, the reason why he did it was to hurt me, so all me and all my friends, they will be laughing and we be hurting and everything else about it. This is all, wait a minute, I thought y'all are minors. How are y'all even watching Cory Holcomb if y'all minors?
So her classmates can see. They're not going to take the position that he was doing these things to hurt the father. So they're trying to position it to make everything Cory Holcomb was doing was directly at the daughter. His intentions was to hurt the daughter.
So I have a question about this for you to think about. And we're not talking about an individual, we're talking about a system. Keep in mind that this is all a system. So within the system, and this system, and say if the legal aspect of the system is part of the narrative now, and you're sitting on the other side of you're sitting on the legal side, what kind of questions would you have? My first question would be, well, Mr. Holcomb, did you have a previous relationship with the woman? Is this one of your stepchildren? Like, how did you, basically, the question is, how did you manage to come across this family? Because I think it's very bold for a man to throw. Now, I'm a Deborah kind of girl. Y'all look Deborah up. I'm a Deborah kind of girl. I don't mind the battle as long as it make sense. But when a man put you out there to shield him, and this is his war, and you're doing your woman duties, your wife duty to, okay, sweetheart, that's okay, if that's what you want me to do. Does he really care about you? Wifey, this is not your war. This is not the child's war. This is the father's war. This is the system he built. And I would, as a mother, wife, sister, aunt, I would hold that man's foot to the fire. Let's finish.
and a wife, they not gonna say, man, this smoke was for Anton Daniels. No, they not gonna say that.
Now, in my opinion, it's gonna have a hard time holding up in court. See, they would have to assume that Cory knew that this girl would be watching his channel, in which Cory believes his show is 18 plus. Now, if they knew their daughter is 17 at the time, then how would their daughter see the show if she wasn't 18, unless they got her access to see Cory's show? Same with all her friends. How would it happen? So he clearly knew that she wouldn't be one watching his show if she was underage. Already.
So the question is, again, most people miss. They miss this because it doesn't look like failure. In some eyes, it looks like success. And so the next thought I had, and I have, when the views go up and the attention grows, private moment becomes public, and it's public content. This is the algorithm. This is a system that you build around you, sir. But something else then happens. Something else happens. The same exposure that you build the audience starting exploring everything else. So you have your wife and your daughter and the legal system. Allegedly, I would be very cautious about this type of environment when they want the legal system, because I don't know for sure if you're not trying to find out what's in my pockets, how I'm moving. I don't know for sure if you don't want me to bring my bank statements in, because you really don't know how I'm moving financially. I don't know if you just want capital gain from all this, because real men is about real men business. And the first line of defense for a real man is to protect his family. Now, guess what? Yet another part of your private life and your family that you open the doors to is out here on this internet. When will it stop? Because the views and the likes and the dollars is, it's the ultimate sacrifice, right? Is you mad or no? Is you mad or no? All right, let's keep going, Mr. Barbecue.
Already knew that. Cory knows children don't watch his shows, but the parents watch his shows. So he directs this stuff at parents, not at the children. It's going to have a hard time holding up in court saying, I say stuff about kids to her kids because kids watch my show. He don't have a kid show. So they going to throw that whole part out. It was not directed at her. This is all about bringing Anton that smoke. I want to go over a little back end to give you context of what happened for the people who don't know what's going on. Cory apparently, I think we all know, was saying some derogatory things about his daughter, had a vest made or had a sweatshirt made.
Well, I'm going to let him tell his story on his channel, because I don't know what is going on. All I know, there was a t-shirt made up. All I know is that Cory and Anton met up at the whatever they show called, and they got into it, and Cory, after that day gone on, I guess he was not around to respond to Anton, and Anton Daniels. There's video footage. I'll show it next time I'm up because I'm not going to stay too long. Was able to, call him out and egg on some things. I'm gonna egg this on. That's the firewall, right? That's you letting down your vulnerability. You're calling this person out and he's not responding. He has not responded. In fact, I nearly forgot about it. It was just it was that much not important. But I kept on hearing that. Let me show you what he said. No, I'm not. So weeks and I'm gonna do this to the Cory. I'm gonna do that to the Cory, and finally Cory popped out. I think it was might be a week or two later. Now, when you go in someone's battle, when you go on a battlefield, you don't get a chance, or when you're picking a battle, I should say, you don't get a chance to ask a person or tell a person what type of solution they're going to use for the battle, especially after you started the battle. By all over the internet, and it went viral. The likes, the comments, the reviews. And so when a person comes to you or come to me or come to anyone, you have to expect the unknown. I'm not asking you to like what I do or someone does. When they say, okay, you want to battle, then okay. Because to be honest with you, this could have all been preventable. And you could have moved on to the person allegedly, Anton Daniels, to your next story. But then I have another question for the audience. Now the jokes come. The commentary comes. And suddenly there's a lawsuit. I'm going to drop down Mr. Barbecue and bring up another video. Because we are clear on who Mr. Cory Holcomb is. I'm clear on it because I used to come on the internet and catch him and get a good laugh and go on about my business. And I wonder, do Anton knows who Cory Holcomb is and his nature of why he's on the internet? Let's see if we're clear. I'm moving on to another video. And this video is called Anton Daniel Speaks on Almost Fighting Cory Holcomb. Let's hear what this has to say. The person who's producing this video, Lucas, you can find his video address in the upper left-hand side of the video itself. I'm going to play a little bit. So, what is the nature of Cory Holcomb? Mr. Daniels, do you know? Let's find out if he knows.
He tells jokes.
Wait. I'm sorry. What is the nature? What is the nature of Cory Holcomb?
He tells jokes. He's the court jester. Stop looking up to these.
I'm sorry. What is it?
He tells jokes. He's the court jester. He tells jokes. He tells jokes.
So the nature of The nature of Cory Holcomb is he do what?
He tells jokes.
Thank you.
He's the
Okay, so he tells jokes. He tells jokes. He's a comedian. But then after we find out what the nature in the eyes of Mr. Daniels, Cory Holcomb nature and why he's on the internet and what he brings to the people. And we all can use a laugh every now and again. Anton goes on to saying this.
court jester. Stop looking up to these niggas that don't know shit. We are not liberal. We are not the party of gay people. We do not fuck with illegal migrants coming into the country and taking what our ancestors died for. I told the nigga it's disrespectful that we got less than 20% voter turnout rate, and we need to be more involved in our local communities, and the nigga giggled like a schoolgirl. Man, what the fuck y'all talking about? This nigga don't know shit. If he not talking about somebody, he don't have no content.
Okay, so what I want you to understand about the tone, the gesture, the hand gesture and everything, that is type of a Detroit thing. The way the voice elevates and de-escalate and things of that nature, and that rough edge type, threatening type of thing going on. When it's in some areas of Detroit, you get that, and that is not the nature of the person. That's just how they learned how to express themselves. And the way he expressed himself with Cory was in this type of demeanor, a threatening type of thing, if you ask me, Mr. Daniels, because that's not who you are. At least I didn't think that's who you were. But let's go and see what is really nagging Mr. Daniels about Mr. Holcomb. What's really going on here?
Y'all niggas keep following these cornball ass niggas that's leading y'all into the mire. They a distraction. They're a distraction. That's it. They not telling you the truth. And that's what I wanted to say to him, because before we got derailed. No, you do the easy shit. You pander. Y'all panda bears. I say the uncomfortable shit that I know that the majority of people is gonna feel some type. He wanted to swing so bad. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Let me be very clear. I want to be very, very clear. I want you to hear it from me directly. I would have beat the shit out of Cory.
So right here, we are lying. This went viral. Cory yet to respond. Didn't even know that. We thought that he went on about his business. And he kept making these videos. And this is where I say, ladies, when you're protecting your family, because we have obligations to protect our family too. Sometimes we have to step back, regardless to what that situation is, and let men be about man business. We don't drag our children and ourselves into man's space, period. We don't welcome ourselves into the man's space. Because it seems like something more is going on here. And this is why, one of the reasons, this is the beginning of the Anton, Daniel, and Cory issue now have turned into the mother and daughter of Anton Daniels allegedly lawsuit on Cory Holcomb. And that brings me back to another thing. I would not try and protect you. I'll make you stand on it as your wife. you clean this shit up. You clean it up. You would never have the pleasure of dragging your children, your family inside of your solution that you let the firewalls, you open up every firewall to your portal. And now you bring in the legal system for a narrative. Let's keep going.
These niggas in real life is frauds. Nigga, who Cory done beat up? Cory would have got the shit beat out of me. I would have beat the shit out of Cory. And I'm not, listen, I'm telling you, it is what it is.
My question to the audience, anyone who's stopping by, let me rephrase this. Here's the real question. Here's the real question. Were you protecting your family, or were you performing for the internet?
I would have beat the dog. I would have dog walked that nigga. I would have beat the shit out of Cory. His hands was shaking like a stripper. The nigga was scared. The nigga ain't want to do nothing. All of that woofing online. Nigga, I'm right here in your studio right in front of you. Nigga, it's...
Mr. Daniel, once you trade protection for attention, you don't have. Let me rephrase this. Once you trade protection for attention, you don't control the narrative anymore. I didn't think that he was this type of person. It's just strange because I just didn't get that from him. But let's keep going.
If you feel so disrespected, then do something. The fuck is you talking about? Nigga, that's all we do in Detroit is fades. Nigga, that's why I keep telling you. Nigga, that's all we do in the city is fades. That's all we do.
Let's see if I can get a clear picture of that. So you go around hurting people, huh? I didn't take you for that either. And what happens next, Daniels, is exactly how the system works. You fed the algorithm what you thought it wanted to hear or to perform based off of your system. You fed the algorithm that you lost the narrative in, and now you're trying to bring in another type of solution. Or I would say allegedly. But according to the internet now, the legal system is a part of the narrative. I like the way this guy is just looking like he just has no emotions. Like he's just listening. I don't know who he is. Shout out to you, Lucas.
All we do in the city is fades. That's all we do. My brothers, my nephews, my uncles, my homies. That's all we do is fades. That's all we do. All of this is fade life. All this right here is fade life, nigga. I don't have to talk about it on the internet. I don't have to talk about it on the internet. Now, I don't want to do that because that's the thing that we tried to get away from. That's the shit that we got away from in the hood.
So you call a whole man out. A whole man. That's equal man you. And you was expecting to get what? You are the source of the vulnerability in your algorithm. And you no longer have control over your own algorithm you created. You build the solution. You put firewalls around your solution, and yet still, you open up every port to expose every vulnerability inside of your environment where you are the man to protect anything that comes around the walls inside your portal, inside the ports of your network. You were the source. And instead of having accountability for your own family and the mess that you made, you bring your wife and your child out here, and you think that's the Detroit thing to do? East Side, boo. We don't move like this. I am disappointed. But nevertheless, it's your life. It's your wife, your children, the internet, and I'll be back here watching. But this is not what Republicans and conservative. This is not a man being about a man business. This is a man that's hiding up under the skirt tail of a woman. And I refuse. Hats off to you, Rita. I would stand up and give you a bow and a cursive. You know, the girly thing. When do we take accountability for our own actions? Wow. And so there we have it. There we have it. That's the source. This is the source. Of what a man would do to his family and what he would do for money, what he would do for clout, likes, and views. And I'm always going to say this at the end of my commentary. You don't lose a family all at once. You lost them the moment you decide that internet matters more. And here's what I say last. If you like it, I love it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Happy Friday, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. If I don't get some more mess that I like to sit back and analyze with the audience. I do have a lot of stuff that I want to cover, but I kind of wanted to do the new stuff first. Good luck, Anton, Daniels, and family. Good luck.